Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's a Monday, which means it's a Joseph Day, which means it's a new week, which means we're 1 week closer to the postseason. We are, a week away from September? When's September 1st? What day of the week is that?
Yeah, it's coming up.
September 1st is a Thursday. It's a week from this Thursday. Damn.
No,
No?
That's way off.
no, it's this coming Sunday.
All
I
right.
can confirm that it's closer than it was yesterday, though, for sure.
Yeah, September 1st is this Sunday, which is what I said before you guys jumped down my fucking throat. Yeah, September 1st is this Sunday. We're closing in on the final month of the baseball season. I think it kind of goes back to a point that Jayhay made a few episodes ago about how, maybe this thing's a wrap. Maybe we know who's already in. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. As far as division goes, there's going to be some battles in September. But as far as like who's in and who's not, we might already know. But the MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. I'll say what I said on Section 10 last night. This is football season's back. So
Yeah.
this is where Underdog really takes off. And I'd like to think that America's pastime is the number one sport in the world. It's not. It's football, and that's okay, especially in the United States. I mean, soccer is the number one sport in the world, but no one cares in the United States. It's football, it's NFL, it's college football. So if you're going to be getting in on some action this football season, please do it with Underdog, and please sign up with the promo code Jared, because that's how Underdog sees our performance, and they'll be like, wow, look at BID moving the needle for us. That really helps us out a lot. Same thing with Section 10. We encourage people to use the promo code Jared. That's Jared. And when you do sign up with that promo code, you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared, Jared. Again, you download that app, you sign up with that promo code. That's what really helps us out. That's taking the that's getting extra credit with the teachers. We're going in there, we're getting straight A's already, but we're asking for extra homework, and we're doing those extra credit projects. So thank you guys for the support for us. And good luck. Good luck when you get on there. Someone that doesn't really need luck, though, Dallas, is Shohei Ohtani. Would you like to take your victory lap?
It was going to happen this way. It had to happen this way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the words are, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
Told you this was going to happen.
Yeah.
No, it just, my whole point was, this is a dude who laid out his entire career on paper before he even got here. Right. And when you have that sort of projection, it just feels like the baseball gods have reserved moments just like this, just for you. Like there's a certain level of entry. You got to be this good before we can start doing shit like this for you, pal. And they're like, well, he's that good. He's that good. So yeah, it's going to be a 40-40 season. It's going to be the first one in franchise history. It's going to be the quickest dude to ever do it. And it's going to be quite literally in the grandest fashion possible. So just felt like it was an easy call. Felt like if there was anybody that was going to have my back there, it was going to be Showtime. I mean, we had the discussion back in 21 in Colorado, right? Like, look, these are the things you need to do if you're going to ultimately put yourself on the pedestal you deserve to be on. Show, I know why you made the move over here in Anaheim. I know why this was the landing spot initially, right? Operation blow the cover off of Mike Trout has been a smashing success. You've showed everybody who you are.
He maybe ruined his career. Shohei Ohtani quite possibly removed Mike Trout from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's just It's one more step. Just one more step for Showtime. I mean, easy call, probably. I probably wasn't the only one.
Series going back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. 40-40. Walk-off grand slam. No way. What a moment. History.
I mean, like, I know that we've said all there is to say about Shohei Ohtani in terms of his greatness and his place in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest player who's ever lived. But it kind of reminds me of the Derek Jeter walk-off hit in Yankee Stadium, in his last game at Yankee Stadium. It's like if you had written the story about the guy, if you had made a movie about it and it was a fictionalized character, if you were a real fan of the sport, you'd be like, it doesn't happen that way. Like, you don't just, oh, yeah, he's the and he pitches too. And he's the fastest of 40-40. And he hit a walk-off grand slam on the same night that he stole the 40th base. His 40th home run is a walk-off grand slam at Dodger Stadium. Like, okay, dude. Yeah, sure. Like, but no, like, it's real life. And he did do that. But it's almost...
Well,
it should be like if it were that fictionalized character in a movie, it would be this like super dramatic scene where it's like, oh my God, just everything was perfect and everything happened the way that, like, if you could script it, that's how it played out. And it happened in real life. And with Shohei Ohtani, because of how great he is, we sit here and we're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Of course. Of course that happened that way.
You're not surprised at all.
No.
It's almost like and he's not saying it, but okay, look, if I can't pitch, I have heard you guys talk about what sort of hitter I would be. Well, did you guys think for 1 minute that I wouldn't be the best fucking thing going? Like, are you serious? Like, you saw what I've been doing while I've been doing them both at the same time. And that's better than anybody's ever thought about doing it. What makes you think that if I only had to focus on one of these things, that I wouldn't be the best to do it? Like, are you serious? What have you been watching? What about what I've done has told you that it would go differently? I've been the best pitcher when I pitch. I've been the best hitter when I hit. I've been the best dude to ever do them at the same time. And if I only got to do one of them, I'm probably going to be the best to do it that way too. And this is how that's gone.
This is
exactly how that's gone.
I would say one of the best, not the best.
Well, he just doesn't have the hardware. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, and like, we're going to talk about another dude who's doing things where you can only start to speak about them in historical context if you're going to avoid redundancy. And even then, the redundancy comes up because it's like, okay, let me guess. There's only one or two other people that have ever done this. Or there's only one person that's done this in the last 80 years. There's no season like this to even think of. Like that's what Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are doing. They're forcing you to look at the game through a lens that you probably will never look at the game through ever again. And that's what's crazy about what's happening right now. Like, I don't want to get on the whole Ohtani and the God's gift to, but just seriously, think about this, man. Everybody that you hold dear in your life that loves the game of baseball, that has an opinion that matters to you about the game of baseball, they have never seen anybody like this. And if they have, that dude's name was Mickey Mantle. All right. That dude's name was Willie Mays. Those are the two closest dominant freaks that anybody you know has ever seen play the game of baseball. Because I don't know that any of us have seen anybody that watched Babe Ruth play the game of baseball. And
we don't even really know that he did.
So to think that we are alive watching our Babe Ruth.
Better than
and
Babe
there's
Ruth.
Yes. And there's another.
He didn't do it at the same time. Like, everyone that brings up the Babe Ruth comps fails to recognize he didn't do it at the same time.
Well, they fail to. He did, not to this extent, not with this regularity, and not in this fashion. It was completely different. Completely different.
He pitched and then he hit. He did not hit and pitch.
He did for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes. That's why I said with regularity and with the productivity, it's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
And so to be able to say that you've watched this unfold and you're watching what Aaron Judge is doing unfold, we always talk about, like, we're kind of putting that context to the relationship or the teammates of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. There's a lot of other teammates who've done a lot of other special things, but we're starting to look at those two together through that lens, which doesn't always happen. So now to be able to view Shohei Ohtani and analyze what Aaron Judge is doing in the way we are, it's a very special time in our game and in the history of our game. These two dudes are rewriting how we are going to look and view players who produce at a level that we've never seen.
I know it's a separate discussion, but on the topic of Aaron Judge and what he's doing, I know, like, we've come to expect greatness from Shohei Ohtani. I think we've also kind of come to expect greatness now from Aaron Judge, where the league average OPS, in Major League Baseball entering play today on Monday is 714. Aaron Judge's slugging percentage is 736. His slugging percentage is higher than the league average OPS.
Yeah.
That's insane.
All the homers and doubles.
He's doing it during a time where offense is just like way down too. Like no one is doing shit like this.
The lowest average in the game's history.
The league average is 256 right now. On base is 327. Slug is 436. Like his slug is 700 points higher. Or no, excuse me. The league average is 244. Yeah. League average is 244 batting average. OBP is 313. Slug is 401. So yeah, about 335 points higher than the league average. That is insane to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about basically an on base and a power statistic, combining the two, and Aaron Judge only needs one of those categories to be in the conversation with anybody else. Like, you take your power and you take your on base, you can combine those. We'll just take Aaron Judge's slugging and then we'll see how we shake out.
Jayhay, I feel like you have things to say on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's it does become a little bit to Dallas's earlier point where it's like you're so inundated with, first since or in this esteemed company, and then these guys are just doing stuff though that's on it like an entirely different level. To Jared's point about the OPS gap, obviously OPS plus accounts for league offensive environment and all the stuff that would make hitting in this current era very difficult. And by an AL batter, Judge is doing what nobody's done since Ted Williams, like literally Ted Williams, the guy everybody points to as being, arguably the greatest pure hitter, or one of them in baseball history. And then nobody as a right-handed batter in either league since a guy named Ross Barnes in 1876. So forget all the other right-handed hitters that you've ever seen. The only guy who has performed at a level like what Judge is doing relative to the rest of the league is some guy who was playing in literally 1876. So count him if you want. Don't count. Yeah, old Barney, old Barnesy.
Yeah, they call them Ross the Hoss.
But no, it's crazy. It's like you have to check yourself, like we've talked about with Ohtani, about not taking it for granted. Judge hits 2 more last night, 50 home runs. And it's like, oh yeah, 50. Well, we all expected him to get to 50. Joey and it's everything I'm saying applies to Ohtani too. Like Joey, I know Joey was like doing a bit last week, but like, the assumption was that he would get to 40-40, and let's talk about 50-50. And it's like, yes and no, right? Like, yes, it is. I'm also assuming that he's going to get to 40-40, but like, man, it's only happened 5 other times. And like, there's something very satisfying about Ohtani getting to 40-40, like there was when Acuna did it, because like there are currently no like questions about how these people are achieving this stuff. And so I don't know, man, like it is special what we're seeing, and you don't want to overstate that. Everybody feels like the players that they're watching in their era are the best or the most special. But in the case of Judge and Ohtani, that really is the case. And you don't need like overly convoluted stats or weird arguments to get there. It's just very kind of straightforward. They've made it very straightforward for everybody, which is also very nice.
And from a player perspective, all the guys that I'm talking to on the teams that come in and the conversations that I have with these guys daily here, nobody was surprised by the 40-40. Everybody was like, why are you focused on 40-40? We're talking about 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you even having the conversation about 40-40? Like, that's not going to fucking happen. Like, are you dumb, Dallas? Are you
Nobody's
stupid? Are you not watching what we're watching? Joe, they've been like that. And I was almost taken aback a little, like, hold on. Like, you think it's just like bookmarked? Like, fuck it. Like it's like it's 50. And they're looking at me like, why would it not be, dude? Are you serious? Why would it not be? Like, back to the point about what has led you to believe that given the opportunity to do this and just focus his concentration on offense, like what kind of animal would he be? And that's what everybody around the league is like, bro, the 40-40 was a done deal. Like, it's 50. How
he's on pace for 50-50. Like, it would have to happen in like the last game of the season. But you say no one was surprised, but his steal total before the year on the betting books, 18.5.
Yeah, well, I think Joe,
That's what
I think
he was
that
projected.
And Joe, I'm with you. I think we both saw right through that, just because, again, the responsibility and where his focus is. You knew that he wasn't going to have to be putting any energy that was going to take away from the offensive production. Now, is he still working out and still doing things to get his body ready as a pitcher and for the arm? Absolutely. They'll cross that bridge when they get there. But this has been all about what he's capable of doing offensively, given the opportunity to focus on that. And this is what it's turned into. And the same thing for Judge. Like, everybody was like the whole 50 homer mark. Everybody's thinking about 60. Can Judge get to 70 is the question. That's not what I'm not saying they're asking, like, will he do it? Is this the year that he can get but that's a realistic, almost year in, year out conversation around this dude now. Is he going to be the dude that threatens it?
Think about how bad Judge was for the first, like, pretty much month of the season. Terrible.
Bad, Joe.
If he had average first month, like, 70 would be.
He'd be at like 57 going into September.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on pace for 63 right now. That would be an AL record, as we're all aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Maris Jr., welcome back.
AKA an average Sammy Sosa season.
Yeah. Yeah, would I see? Congratulations. Aaron Judge is having the 9th best season or something like that of Barry Bonds. I was like, what? Is that real? Is that serious?
Yeah, congratulations to Pirates Hall of Famer Barry Bonds, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Raise it.
Got in there
Good to
with
see Barry get the love.
Jim Leland. But I was just looking at the splits over here, and it seems like June is Shohei's month. Just once last year did Shohei hit double-digit homers in a month. It was June. He hit 15 in June of last year. And this season, he has once in a month hit double-digit homers. That was also June. He hit 12. Although he's at 9 for the month of August this year, and August is not done yet. So it could be a double-digit home run month if he homers again before Sunday. But he's still got his work cut out for him here.
to go back to Dallas's, the observation of that other person, it's like, oh, congrats, you're having Barry Bonds' 9th best season. I didn't see that, nor do I know exactly what stat they used. So I'm not calling him out. But by OPS plus, he's actually basically having Barry Bonds' tied for 4th best season now. So we all, and that season occurred in the middle of that 01 to 04 stretch. So we all joke like, oh, Barry fucking Bonds, never gonna see that. Like what a video game, what in some senses, like what stupid bullshit that was, you know what I mean? Like kind of broke baseball. Well, he was at 231 OPS plus in 2003. Judge entering play today is at 230. Okay. And depending on your flavor of production, Barry Bonds hit 45 homers that year and had 550 total plate appearances. He obviously had those 148 walks and the 529 on base percentage. But if Judge continues at his current pace, you are talking about something that resembles, this was not Bonds' best season, but resembles something that Barry Bonds did in the best stretch of his career, which is the best stretch that we've ever seen from any. So it's like,
all right, Jay, let me ask you this. And serious question. As a pro nerd.
Yeah.
Is there any weight, any wiggle room to have a discussion about Judge being able to capitalize more offensively? I'm not saying produce more. I'm just saying if he's being pitched to more and he's not being walked at the rate that Barry Bonds was, is there anything to him having opportunity to produce more offensively than Barry, and that creating the numbers and getting him a little closer? Because I think you know where I'm going. Well, let's give Barry the opportunity to swing at the pitches or have the at-bats that Judge is, because my thought is, and we all know it, Barry Bonds was seeing a pitch, a series, and that motherfucker was ending up in the Bay. So
yeah, I don't actually think that Judge is as good as peak Bonds. I think you're right that Bonds was able to get there despite his quote unquote opportunities being limited. It is a credit to him. And I think if Bonds had been given the opportunity to produce or to swing at more pitches, you probably would have seen numbers that were even crazier. I do think it is also worth mentioning though, that and I agree with you at the end of the day, but he did get 61 intentional walks, which he deserved them / earned them. But that's found money too, in a sense, right? That helps. That gets you to a 529 on base percentage, quote unquote, in a hurry. So whatever, this is all kind of academic or for fun or whatever, but that his overall production line might be differently shaped, but at the end of the day is something that we're talking about the Ted Williams stuff and Ross Barnes and Barry Bonds in his peak. It's just wow, man, just when you thought this guy couldn't get any better, he is elevating himself into calling this the greatest right-handed peak. Almost feels like, yeah, duh. Yeah,
and you also got to account that Barry Bonds was doing flaxseed oil. And so that was an advantage. Probably for home runs.
Do you think if Barry Bonds played today that he would still be intentionally walked as many times, or are teams now looking at that as we can pitch to this guy with shifts? I mean, obviously now they've banned the shift, but yeah, I think I don't think that we would. First of all, we're never going to see Barry Bond intentional walk totals like that ever again. But if Barry played today, he wouldn't be intentionally walked as many times as he was.
I think if he played today, they'd put him as a leadoff hitter, and that might reduce it a lot.
Yeah, they would absolutely. Well, hold on. I think it's fair to have this discussion around two different Barrys. Pirates Barry, is he getting walked like that? He was never getting walked like that, right? That's not going to happen. But is he still somebody who they're going to say, oh, I don't think this dude's going to be the one that beats us? Yes. But does he get walked to the tune of 232, 120 like he did in 04? I just don't. I think that being at the top of the lineup would force organizations to go, we can't just start the fucking game with a guy on first. We just can't do that. And Barry's manager or their front office would be forcing baseball to address that. Like, all right, here we go. Almost like the opener. Like it would be a thing. If Barry Bonds is going to be hitting leadoff, how do we handle that? How do we do that? Like what would the Yankees do, or what would the approach to the Yankees look like if Aaron Judge started hitting leadoff for them?
I'm only comfortable answering the question that was initially asked, which is that he would not be intentionally walked anywhere near as many times because of the league approach. League intentional walks are way down over the last 10 years, over the last
Plus
18 years, whatever it is. And I'm not like, I'm going post Bonds. So it's not being inflated by Bonds specifically in the total. Like I went to 2008 and 2014, just as an example. There were 1,400 league-wide intentional walks in 2008. There were about 950 in 2014. Those are over full season sample sizes. And there have been just over 400 intentional walks this year. So no matter what teams do over the remaining however many weeks, we're not getting to 900 intentional walks. It's just the game is played differently, and it doesn't matter whether Bonds was part of it or not.
Jay, who led, or what was the number? I'm sure it was Judge and Ohtani, intentional walks.
Like this season, who leads it?
You can give it. Yeah, give me this.
Judge
season.
has 16 to lead the league, and I was just looking at Barry's career. He was intentionally walked 16 or fewer times as a Giant. Once in 99, he was intentionally walked 9 times. And then 2005, but he only played 14 games. So, yeah, as a Giant, he was intentionally walked north of every time that Aaron Judge was intentionally walked this year.
Over his career, Barry Bonds was intentionally walked 688 times.
Yeah.
688 times.
Major
Like
League
I'm asking the question about the leader in the clubhouse and intentional walks year in and year out, because what Jared's getting at is where I was going with this. We're talking about a dude in Barry Bonds who, was averaging fucking 35 intentional walks a game, or intentional walks a season. And I mean, I don't know.
It's got to be more than that. I'm gonna.
It probably is.
It was 38. All right. So as a Giant, a Giant from his age 28 season in 1993 until he was 42 in 2007, he averaged 38 intentional walks a season.
You know what's crazy?
What
is that? No one in AL history has ever been walked more than 33 times in a season.
That's insane. That is insane. Barry Bonds averaged 38 intentional walks a year as a Giant. Nobody in the history of the American League of Baseball has ever been intentionally walked more than 33 times in a year. And Barry averaged 38 as a Giant. As a Giant. Remember, 2 careers, Hall of Famer twice over.
Impress somebody at the bar someday. Ted Williams in 1957 and John Olerud in 1993 are the 2 AL leaders, tied at 33.
That is
how the fuck
John
old
Olerud.
was Ted Williams in 1957? 38?
I don't know that answer offhand. Hold on. He was 38, exactly 38 years old. Yes.
Yeah, he was.
He put up a 1.257 OPS that season.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That was the most he was ever in. Obviously, the most he was ever intentionally walked, as he played his whole career in the AL. But yeah, he went from 11 walks in 56 and jumped up to 33 intentional walks in 58.
That's insane.
57. Sorry.
It's bananas, man. I'm telling you, 232, 120. Never forget. I'll never be able to wrap my head around that. Never. It'll never not just fucking floor me. This dude was walked 232 times.
Joe, do you have any memories of Barry Bonds?
Yeah. I was born in 98. So, like, I mostly remember Barry Bonds as the steroid guy and him breaking the record. Those are the, like, memories I have of Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Was like the final couple of years of him chasing it being on ESPN. And him being a fucking cheater, bro.
Whoa, hey.
Whoa, wasn't illegal.
I didn't like cheaters back then.
It wasn't illegal at the time.
I was more of a Hammer and Hank Aaron did it the right way kind of kid. That was just where my moral compass was. I don't know where you guys were at, but
so you came into the Barry era a little late, but you were really powered by the bedtime stories of Hammer and Hank, huh?
Hammer and Hank, you did it the right way, man. You know they shit. You know what they say, right?
I do know.
Babe Ruth did it with hot dogs and beer. Hank Aaron did it with class.
Did it with greenies.
How'd you do it, Barry?
Yep.
Greenies isn't an illegal drug. It was legal, bro.
Mm-hmm. So were steroids at the time.
Actually, they weren't. Just because they didn't test for them doesn't mean they weren't illegal. They were actually legal by the law.
Yeah. But they weren't banned in the
even
league.
More.
Those are two different things. Two different jurisdictions, brother.
Just because they still were banned in the league. They just didn't test for them. It was in the fine print. But you are the steroid expert. You've done more than me, so.
Whoa!
Bang, bang!
That's
Shots fired.
It's not true.
You got the floor.
Yeah, I already took it. I don't think. First of all, we don't know that he didn't test positive for anything, so you're just making wild accusations.
He admitted to flaxseed oil. In my book, that's just as bad.
That's just as bad. What is flaxseed oil?
Down on seed oil.
What is that, Dallas? I feel like you know what that is.
What is flaxseed oil? It's
Yeah.
just it's another oil source.
You can just like get that at Target.
Yep. Get anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Your steroid connection probably won't have that. You can just go to the store.
I don't have a steroid connection. Well, that's not true. If I wanted to get them, I could get them very easily. But
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You've said all that needs to be said. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know people who could get them very easily.
However you want to say
that doesn't
it.
mean
I
that
got a friend. It's not my connection. He's not a plug. Yeah, we got it.
I'm surprised that people didn't make accusations after getting smoked by Papelbon, how I just didn't react at all. It's like that's a guy that's clearly got some extra padding.
Can we talk about whose jersey were you wearing?
Dick Raditz. It's the old-time baseball game. They're supposed to not fit. Like every year,
there could have been 4.5 of you in that jersey.
Every year, I have to explain this to people. They're like, "Man, Carrabba's is swimming in that jersey." It's like, yeah, that's how they fucking wore them back then. You dumb fucks.
No, I don't.
Everyone was swimming in their jersey, Dallas. Everyone. That's the
you look like you were in the deep end, though. Everybody else might have been in a kiddie pool of uniform. You were in the deep end of a uniform.
I think it's because is there a jersey that could have fit me better? Probably, but like Buck tries to put me in the Red Sox jersey every year. So like that's the Red Sox. There's like all kinds of.
They only got one? They got one fucking jersey? They can't get another. They can't make another?
They've got like maybe 3. Yeah.
It's not like we're using fucking original old-timey uniforms here. This thing is fresh off the fucking line. Just make one that fits.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, but it's a little too late for that now. This is already like my 5th or 6th time playing in the game, and I'm not getting any younger. I don't necessarily want to play again, but I mean, I will.
Wow.
To support
no heart for the game. Huh? That's brutal.
I'll play if you play next year.
That's tough.
Why do you not want to play?
Yeah, I'll go and fucking drop dick and just take that thing over. No problem. Done.
I feel like you won't. Why don't I want to play? Because baseball is the hardest game to just roll out of bed and play once a year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm obviously I'm not implying that I would do anything other than embarrass myself, but so you just don't feel like you're
competitive.
Did it not go well?
Last 2 years, I've gotten on base all the time. I got a 1,000 on base percentage my last 2 games that I played in. So
why wouldn't you want to keep that up?
Right. I don't understand.
Because I want to end it on a good note. You don't want to have your
On
last
base?
game be a fucking strikeout. You want your last game to be like, yeah, he got on base and rode off into the sunset.
Oh, so you're trying to avoid tarnishing what you would call a legacy, it sounds like, after getting drilled?
I would say, yeah, my legacy is untarnishable at this point.
I'm going to throw my vote in with continuing to participate will kind of garnish your legacy more than quitting with a 1,000 on base percentage. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Over your last 2 games.
Over my last 2 games.
Yeah. Sorry. I needed to throw that in there. I don't know how many games overall you've played. So
Yeah.
your overall on base percentage could be like 293, in which case we don't really have a legacy to be protecting.
Right.
Jay, make sure your computer's plugged in, Jayhay. I don't want Baseball Reference crashing trying to figure out that search.
Well, I mean, I think I struck out every time that I played, except for the last 2 years.
Didn't Section 10 like participate? Why wouldn't that just become a thing then?
Because our manager fucking was trying to win, like his life depended on it. He was so mad that we were there. He was so mad that we were participating and that like no one was playing defensive positions. It was just all pinch hitting.
I would feel the same way. You guys
Can
have
we call
come
this
here
person out or no? Are we not?
I don't even know his name. He's a great guy. I mean, he was looking out for me because he knew that Papelbon was going to drill me and he was trying to protect me. But yeah, I don't think he was super pumped that we were participating.
You're making a mockery of the game.
Wow, what a
he
twist.
loves.
I mean, we were invited. It was crazy. We were invited to do it, and then like
Did he invite you?
No.
Jake? No.
No, I didn't get the sense that he was pumped to have us there, but
So I've got a pretty good idea why he could care less that you.
I'm assuming he has like a regular gig, right? Like
I
he's
have
just
no
a
idea.
normal person.
I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know where he came from or what his deal is, but every year that I've participated in the game, I've been on the other team. So this was my first year on this side of the diamond. I'm usually on the other side, and my skip would have me there no matter what, whenever. Was happy to accommodate my diva requests,
Right.
and that I don't play defense and I don't run hard on the bases, but you're gonna get a knock, you know. I scored a run last year.
I mean, I think the solution's easy. You go back to the other team and you keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I should have never left.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't need to get into the the behind the scenes of why you left, the power plays and stuff like that.
Well, because
but
they wanted me to face Papelbon. So Papelbon was on the home team, and in order for me to face him,
I
I
see.
had to be on the road team. But usually I'm on the home team.
All right, I think it's back to the home team, like you and Papelbon kind of do a kind of a wrestling style, like reverse your friends now
He'll
sort of
probably
thing.
never
and
play again.
Oh, okay.
He's one.
Well, he's okay. So
He's one.
whatever Red Sox legend is playing in the game next year, and then we don't have to deal with this, this diva of a coach. This is crazy.
Jayhay, I think we're missing something here, though. This is a great opportunity, Jared, for you to, over the years, just like sort of rate the veracity with which these old time players come back and drill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
We've
idea.
already missed
Yeah.
all the good ones. Like Pedro and Clemens have already
They're too big now?
participated. No, they've already done it. So
I know. Keith Folk. Let's get Folky on the horn.
he might have already
Folky
done
will
it
stick
too. I
one
can't
right in your
remember.
ribs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, can I?
Leonardo Eduardo DiNardo?
What's
Yeah, I
stopping
think
them
he did
from
that.
doing it again?
I don't know. That's a good question. Old
Just
age,
like-
maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, just like other commitments and not wanting to. It's not like a league rule that they can't do it.
I should have
again.
fucking the one that Papelbon threw at me. I should have caught it and rolled it back to him. He was throwing nothing up there.
Man, that's crazy that you would get a free influx of some really dynamic talent and just kind of turn your nose up at it as a manager. I just think this guy. I'm assuming he listens to the podcast.
He
this
could, I
one,
don't know.
so yeah.
He
I'm
clearly
assuming-
had no idea who any like Tyler, fucking Jake. He was like, which one of you's Milliken?
Oh, Milky.
Yeah.
How'd Milky do? How did Milky fare? Was he all right?
Section 10 was 0 for 4 strikeouts and an HBP.
All right.
So there's room for improvement.
I mean, listen, if I got the fucking chance to hit, I would have got a hit, but I didn't have that opportunity.
That's not bad.
Put yourself in the crosshairs, man.
I mean, partly like Dallas is to blame. Like Papelbon's insane.
Well, I wasn't even fucking there. What?
Papelbon's an
I see what
insane
you're saying.
person.
Yeah.
But like Dallas was advocating for this on Twitter, to which Papelbon acknowledged, like he saw it and engaged with Dallas's encouragement. So you think like, you know, it's if you don't have a crowd rooting you on, are you as likely to do the crazy thing? No. But Dallas was the crowd that was like, go hit him, go ahead.
I didn't think you would. You know,
No, you didn't think so? Yeah. I mean, the people in attendance were like, he spared no velocity. He no part of him was like, it's like I'm gonna hit him, but it's a charity game. No. Like his fastest pitches were at me of the entire outing. Like he threw as hard as he possibly could with everything he had left at me.
You have no idea how happy that makes me. Not that it was you, but just that power. Because like, look, I'm saying this, you know, the saying, you never meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed. Like the idea of like, if you ever were wondering how Pap operate, like, yes, he will drill you. And I just wanted.
He did. And
I'm glad you
he
made it,
kept
though.
saying that he nicked me. No, he didn't. He fucking squared me up like right in the side.
Was it in the? Do we have a mark? Show us a mark. You
Yeah,
have a mark?
dude, it's fucking yellow.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Show me that shit. Skin that smoke wagon. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get a little purple hue by fucking Wednesday for sure.
Yeah, he got
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Like because he threw a first pitch strike right down the middle. So I was like, oh, he's not gonna hit me. And then
Oh, no, that was
so I got in ready to hit, and I leg kicked, stepped into it, and he fucking got me right in the side.
oh, just the old bait you. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fastball down the middle. Oh, okay, all right, yeah. And you're probably thinking, that's right, pussy. You don't want to fucking hit. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he did it.
Nope.
He did it.
Right in the side.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made it out, though. I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah, it's for charity.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
And he's going back next year.
Yeah, and you're going back next year. And if
you
I were
are
there,
too, you said you said you were going to play next year.
And Dallas is in. Yep.
Dallas
I'm
is in, confirmed.
I'm in.
I'll face you again. I've
I
already
wouldn't-
faced you before, but
I can't pitch. Well, I might be able to. I can. Well, it's a matter of my arm physically working. Just that small detail.
How am I supposed to pitch you if I can't even wipe my own ass?
How am I supposed to throw if I can't,
I mean, you
Bro.
can just. So, I mean, it's for charity, dude. You're not. It's not like you're resuming your big league career and your A's Hall of Fame status is on the line. You're not tarnishing your.
I'm trying to
major
get
league
another
career.
10 on the ballot, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've already faced. I mean, I almost fucking hit a bomb off you. I put one to the warning track the other way. I did. I mean, that's
The
on film. You
delusion
can't even
is-
like Dallas will be like, oh yeah, he makes all these claims, but there's no proof. Like, there's a video.
of you hitting a ball to the warning track.
Yes, the other way.
I'd love to.
I don't know what's so funny. It's on my TikTok right now. Go check out my TikTok. I don't really post a lot, so it's not hard to find.
One of your pin talks. Yeah, I would love nothing more.
All right.
Nothing more. You know what? I might get on a throwing program just for you.
Please do. I don't give a shit. I mean,
Just
I hit
for
lefties
you.
very well.
give you a fucking matching medallion right on your neck.
Why does everyone want to hit me, dude? I don't get it.
Coming right after you.
Yeah, well, you should be coming right after Hims.
Oh.
Yeah. Men, when we leave the house, it's phone, wallet, keys, how's my hair look? But if you're experiencing hair loss, Dallas, you may not be so confident when you step outside your door. It's time to get that confidence back and restore your hair with Hims. No man wants to lose his hair, Dallas, but for men, it's actually very common, Dallas. And now with Hims, the solution is simple. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back. Men, real talk. The only thing worse than losing your hair is waiting for forever for it to grow back. That's why you need Hims. Hims provides access to a range of hair loss treatments that work and all the comfort from your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted treatment options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil.
Oh, hold on.
That can
you say
regrow
that
hair
F1
in as
again?
little. It's finasteride.
Finasteride?
Finasteride.
And what was the other one that you said?
Minoxidil.
Minoxidil?
Minoxidil. That can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. They offer personalized chewable oral spray and serum treatments so that you can find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online. Just answer a few questions and a medical provider will determine a treatment that is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to your door. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers. So if you feel like you're losing a part of yourself with your hair loss, get Hims and get your confidence back. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/BID. That's HIMS.com/BID for your personalized hair treatment options. Hims.com/BID. Results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Which reminds me, Dallas, make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
I heard oral spray and I had this visual of somebody like spitting on my head. And I was like, how in the fuck do you do? I was like, oral. And then it dawned on me. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
It's like you put this in your mouth and then how do you do that? How do you spray it?
The medical industry's come a long way, Dallas. Pretty crazy.
I'm in a great spot right now mentally. And so
I'm in a great spot mentally, he says.
I was putting together how oral spray was going to work. I was like, that's really, you got to have a partner that has your back. Like they're just like, fuck. All right, here we go. Get ready to go out.
One of a kind.
Is this guy all right?
Could you imagine?
He's in a great spot mentally. Speaks for itself.
He's in a great spot mentally.
Could you imagine walking in on your friends getting ready to go out? It's just your buddy's getting fucking hosed down by his wife, just spitting on him. He just got a haircut. Hold on, we'll be out in a minute.
What's happening?
I doubt he's in a good spot mentally right now.
Yeah, great spot.
He's in a great spot.
Oral hairspray. It's fucking awesome.
It's one of those things where like it's only funny to him, but I'm laughing because he's laughing.
just the visual is just insane.
Yeah, no, we get it. No, we definitely get it. Yeah.
I know I'm the only one that sees the visual, but it's really funny.
We highlighted that Mets Padres series going into the weekend. 4-game set. Mets Padres. And here's how it ended.
High drive, deep right field. Merrill Madness walked off at Petco. Padres win it 3-2.
Pretty sweet. Our boy, Jackson Merrill, which, by the way, we did the JJ and J hour after you left on Thursday, Dallas. And part of that was throwing out a poll to the fans, asking them if you could start your team with one player out of the 3 Jacksons, Jackson Holliday, Jackson Merrill, Jackson Chourio, which Jackson are you taking? And it was very close between Holliday and Merrill, but Holliday won, right? Or Merrill won?
Yeah, Holliday. I did he win? He was winning when you sent that.
Holiday
sent
won.
the
I think it was like
text.
43% to like 39%, and then like 18% for Chourio. Got very little love.
Is it like? Why do we think Chourio got so little love?
Because he is 3rd ranked out of those 3, I would imagine. Like that's correct.
What was the biggest gap? What was the gap between?
Okay, so it was 44.1% for Jackson Holliday, 38.7% for Jackson Merrill, 17.2% for Jackson Chourio.
Wow.
Out of about 4,500 votes.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
feels right, though, no?
Well, no, not arguing. I guess I'm wondering what it is about Chourio that does not excite, or is it something?
Well,
is
I
it
think it's-
more
I
about?
think it's
more of
less
a
about him and more
commentary.
about the other guys.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have one of them who is by far the most recognizable and famous of the 3, right? And who came in with the highest expectations.
Mhm.
And you have the other guy who's definitely grabbing the most headlines currently and is playing the best ball right now. So like he's
No
just
question.
in that zone, I think, where it's
Like
like the timing of the
purgatory?
poll. Yeah, it's the timing of the poll, of course. Like we were talking about it. I think any of those answers is viable. And I think if we look back in a year or 5 years and you told like any of those people could be the best out of those 3, it's just kind of like, I think in terms of 2024, I do think the timing of Jackson Merrill's contributions is, putting some distance between him and Skeens for the NL Rookie of the Year or whoever else you think should be in that conversation. Like I will admit to have not seen like him putting this sort of distance between the two of them this quickly. But like when you have, 5 go-ahead home runs in the 9th inning or later and 6 in the 8th inning or later. And I looked up his OPS in late and close situations. And for a player 21 or younger, the only guy in the wild card era who had a higher OPS was Juan Soto in 2019. And he's outpacing A-Rod in 96. So like, yes, his overall performance might not be at the level that those guys contributed, but when he's doing it, is both really impressive subjectively. Like, it's just what he did last night was dramatic and awesome. But it also leads directly to wins. And it's just, it's incredible the timing of his contributions.
And that right there. And what you're saying when you say timing, Jayhay, is we have a young rookie stepping up and shouldering a lot of the clutch responsibility for a team who is chasing down the division. That is a big deal. That's a big deal, right?
100%. And not only has he been their best player in those situations, we're now at a point where you can, I think you would make the case that he's actually just been the best player. Position player wise on the Padres. Well, probably just anyone, but like certainly best position player. I think at this point he's surpassed Profar, at least by F4. I mean, it's marginal, but like I think given what we just talked about, when Jackson Merrill is performing these feats, Like, I think you can easily make a case that we now have a 21-year-old player who's just the best player on the team. I mean, I understand the Tatis wrinkle there, but obviously he just hasn't played or contributed at the same bulk level that Merrill has this season.
And to put into context the comparison between Chourio and Merrill, Chourio right now 2.8 F4 accumulated compared to Jackson Merrill's 3.9 F4. So a full win and change more of production out of Jackson Merrill than Jackson Chourio. And which I just watched Jackson Chourio play for the last 3 days. He's going to be a fun player to watch. He is going to be a very, very, very fun player to watch. I just wanted to say that. Not that nobody knew that, but just talking about these three and the trajectory. Right now, we're talking about the importance of Merrill and what he means to a club in pursuit of October. I think Chourio is another interesting name because he's going to have to, and this is what I talked about during this series, this is a young fella who's going to have to now shoulder the responsibility or some of when you remove a Christian Yelich from the equation. Now this is a young guy who's got a ton of responsibility on his plate, whether he wants it or not. Everybody just needs to ratchet it up just a bit more. So it's really cool to think that you have two young kids performing the way they are, and it's not just about going through the motions through September and show us what you got, show us your skill set. No, every at-bat matters, right? Every defensive effort is going to matter. And these guys are squarely in the middle of what their teams are doing.
I looked up win probability added among batters in the second half of the season, post All-Star break. Top three, Bobby Witt Jr., Jackson Merrill, Aaron Judge.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Like, especially in a time where you're looking for somebody to step up. Who's going to step up? Who's going to do this, right? How many times do we talk about October being the birthplace of legacy? This is where people show up. This is where people become the studs that they're going to grow into. I believe that stretches like this last month or so, this is where these young guys, this is where they can really start to put themselves on that stage, because it's one thing to perform in the postseason. It's another thing to shoulder the responsibility and actually help power your team to the postseason and then get to the post. How do we get there? We're getting there because of these guys. It's one thing to have them show up and you bring a guy in the last 2 weeks and, oh, now he's on the roster and now he's making a play or whatever, right? It's different. Like, think about Christian Pache and playing center field for the Atlanta Braves because no Ronnie. Well, it would be a very different story if Christian Pache was the dude who had carried the Braves or had been squarely in the middle of their lineup during a push into October. That would be different. That's what Jackson Merrill is doing. That's what Jackson Chourio has the opportunity to do.
Joseph, what you got on the Jacksons?
Three great Jacksons. I don't know if you've been looking at Jackson Merrill is a lot very similar to Evan Carter. I mean, that's what Dallas is basically saying. What Evan Carter did last year in the playoffs, pretty much took the Rangers to the World Series. I know he's been kind of irrelevant this year, but watch out for the Padres World Series. That's their Evan Carter. Jackson Holliday right now, I think it's pretty interesting because, I mean, everyone knows that he came up and was very bad for the first month, got demoted, and then came back up and was a beast. I think right now he's like in a 1 for 30 stretch or something very bad. And I'm just interested to see, like, if this guy, what they do with him in the playoffs.
Well, Joe, go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you got an OPS of 550 and you're Jackson Holliday and it's October 1st, does he play in the playoffs?
He could be a guy that they're able to utilize in different roles. And I think that's the benefit to Jackson Holliday. And if there's anybody that needed this situation out of these three Jacksons, it might stand to be Jackson Holliday. And what I mean is other guys in the lineup that can take care of the responsibility. Nobody is expecting Jackson Holliday to give you the lion's share of the productivity in the lineup that he's in. And I'm not saying the same thing for Jackson Chourio, but there's a little more expectation for him. And now what Jackson Merrill is doing, like he's winning the fucking games for these guys right now. So there's a certain expectation that I think is starting to come along with him as well. I think there's still, while there's excitement around Jackson Holliday, I think expectations have been tempered to an extent where you're not expecting him to break out in October and carry the club. There's 4 or 5 other names that pop up before his.
Yeah, but I mean, he had the highest expectations out of all 3 of these guys.
No doubt. No doubt.
By far.
Easily.
And to hit how he's hitting. It would be disappointing, though, to not see him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you're the Orioles, I mean, Jordan Westbrook's hurt right now, but he comes back. He plays infield. Like, how do you justify having Jackson Holliday? And do you want Jackson Holliday like pinch hitting in a big spot at 21 years old? 20?
Well, those are the conversations that they're having between if it's between those 2 players. Who do they feel is going to be the more viable option, the more flexible player that's going to give them more versatility? That's all that conversation starts to become about, because you're weighing the impact of. Think about the conversation we just had with Mark DeRosa, and these are very different scenarios, but wanting Bobby Witt Jr. and the Royals wanting Bobby Witt Jr. on the roster so that he can be around these players, right? So that he can be around these guys and experience what this is like at this level and have these conversations. Now, this is the postseason. Every warm body we got is going to be contributing somehow, some way. And I think that is where they're going to have to make their decision. Who do we feel can contribute more regularly and in a bigger form, in a bigger way? And do we feel like there's any sort of potential psychological blowback here or impact on the young player? If we plug one of these guys in and they don't get used the way they maybe expect, does that do anything to them? Does that affect them? And I would think in October, no. I'm here to help. Great. If I'm not the dude now, fine. I'm here to help.
I'm not necessarily here to get caught up in small samples or cutting up some dude's first 34 games into 3 different sections and making broad conclusions. But to like what Joey's getting at, he's 1 for 23 with 10 strikeouts over his last 8 games. And like, I know that's just 8 games, but you now have like the first 10 games of his season, which were an obvious disaster. And he came back, and then in that middle section, it looked like, oh, things have been figured out, or like he's not going to post a 900 OPS the whole season probably, but like he's clearly above water now, right? And then you have this stretch since August 18th where, like, frankly, the results look a lot more like what those first 10 games look like. And I don't know, it's nitpicking a little bit because any young player can struggle over 8 games. But I just would have loved to have not seen a like dire stretch like this so quickly after the recall. And for that hot start, quote unquote, to have fizzled out after, 15 games or whatever. We'll see how he bounces back. A lot of time left. But like, if Joey's question is what happens when we get to the end of the season, if he's not performing at above a 600 OPS, like he's currently on a stretch where he's at a 200 OPS over his last 8 games. So like, he's going to have to get himself back on track to even get to the conversation that Joey's talking about, which would be very relevant if that's where he's at.
And Jayhay, I would be curious, just listening to this right now, I want to know what he's hitting against certain pitches. That's what I would.
To be honest, I just did this on the fly, so I didn't.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying this is where, because I think what we're talking about now, what we're seeing is the ebb and flow of a league and the adjustments made, right?
For sure.
And you have a kid who is an elite adjuster. He's an elite adjuster. Dominated the minor leagues, came up to the big leagues, struggled, went back down, made some adjustments, came back up, adjusted to what was happening to him here. What happens? The league makes a move. The league makes a shift. The league adjusts. What are you doing now?
He's hitting 293 with a 873 OPS against fastballs.
And then, so what we would do, what I would do, just to start, is take a look at where he was having success in his first tour.
Actually,
where he was being exposed. Pitches and location.
297 with a 927 OPS against 4-seam, 2-seam sinkers.
That was right now.
That's the whole thing.
297 against fastballs.
Yep.
And then off speed. Or give me sliders.
Sliders.
Sliders or sweepers. Because I'm sure they have two. We don't really need to do this, honestly, just because I'm interested in it. I have a day off. I'll probably nerd out and take a look at some of this stuff. But I think it bears diving into simply because when we start to get to the postseason, that's exactly what these teams are going to be doing.
132.
Yeah.
132 with a 548 OPS against sliders and sweepers.
Yeah, and it seems like now he's struggling against off-speed pitches. But when it came up, everything was about he can't catch up to the velocity.
Right.
And then he made that adjustment, so now they're throwing off-speed. Now he's worse at off-speed.
Well, it's not that you're worse. He's just bouncing back and forth. You're caught in between. And that's what we as pitchers and as a pitching brain trust, that's where we go. Okay, so this is what you're doing. And we can pick up those things mechanically. Like I can watch an at bat and see a guy get ready a little quicker. Maybe his hands are in a different position. Maybe his hands are a little higher now than they were before. What does that tell me? He's looking to get into his firing position that much quicker. Why would you do that? You would do that because you're getting dominated with velocity. So now that I see that you're ready to go, you're almost walking a fine line between being in swing mode and trying to separate balls and strikes because you've made a physical adjustment that tells me that you're ready to go. You got to be ready to go. Great. You want to know what I do now? Now I tease you. Now I see if you have the ability to slow down. Can I start to tickle the zone and still get some takes that give me feedback, still get some swings that get me feedback? If so, buddy, you're going to get the fastball for show, and I'm going to spin you right back to the fucking dugout. That's what happens in the postseason. They'll take your last two at-bats and sell out to what they're getting in that moment right there. If your last two at-bats have come in the seventh inning or beyond with runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, I want to know what those approaches look like. I don't give a fuck what you did in July. Don't care.
The Chicago White Sox have reached 100 losses on the season before the month of August. I mean, before the month of September. I guess you could say before the month of August ends. They've reached 100 losses. What did I say they were going to win? 63 games? That seems like a stretch.
First team since the 1916 Athletics to have 100 losses through 131 games. It's just no Philadelphia Athletics. I know, we're not trying to cast shade on the franchise, brother. More to the point, it's been 108 years. Let's just phrase it that way. Since any team, was at pacing at what these guys are doing. I think they're 3-11 under Sizemore now. So, I guess you could frame that as a turnaround, I guess, a little bit, but
small
not really.
size, more size.
Yeah.
Size.
It's just crazy, man. It's 31 and 100. 31 and 100.
Yeah.
Just we can't lose sight of Judge and what Judge and Ohtani are doing. We can't take that for granted. In a similar vein, we can't take what the White Sox are doing for granted. We do need to swish it around. We need to savor it. And a mark like 100 losses I'm glad we're taking a moment to kind of, to celebrate it a little bit because listen, man, we may not see greatness in terms of how bad are you, the pursuit of the opposite of greatness, quite like this. Maybe we don't see it again.
Yeah. They have 23 fewer losses than the next worst team in the American League.
I mean, they're in jeopardy of not winning 40 games.
Oh, yes.
That's very much on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. That Mets record that's an aspiration right now.
As somebody who lived this last year, I can tell you that it is not fun. It's tough to go to work facing storylines like this.
I would
Because
imagine
everybody, like, it's there right in front of you. There's no avoiding it. The only way to avoid it is to win a game. And guess why we're having this fucking conversation? Because we're not winning games.
Yeah, but
So-
you also are very realistic, Dallas. So you can show up to the ballpark and you can tell stories and you can talk about the other team. But when you're the Chicago White Sox broadcaster and your catchphrase is "for all the haters" and "South Side stand up," I feel like it's just a little bit more difficult for that guy to not to have to, when you've got catchphrases that you've had to keep in the holster 100 times. And you still got a month and change to go. That feels like, to me, something that's a little bit more difficult to endure. Southside's been doing a lot of sitting down this year.
Oh, man. Southside needs to go to a
seated.
Catholic mass. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be funny. He should lean into that. He should come up, South Side sit down, South Side stay seated.
Yeah.
Probably be the end of his job, but
I mean, goddamn, is he trying? Like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know. I've never really thought about what I would do if I had to broadcast 162 games of this quality of baseball. Never done that thought experiment. It's kind of funny though.
It's kind of funny though.
Like, how quickly are you just this is his first year
I believe so. Yes.
doing any major, well, it's definitely his first year because Benetti was doing it last year, but
Yeah.
like, this is his first year doing any Major League Baseball broadcast. I didn't miss him before, right? So, are you just jaded? Are you completely bitter for the rest of your broadcasting career if this is what you have to endure in season one? Like, is your style never the same? Maybe if you guys go on a win down the road, you're like, oh, I can celebrate this. I'm still happy. But like, does it forever alter your broadcast approach to endure like a 38 and 124 season? Is that?
I think it makes it really easy to transition. I think it makes it really, really easy to just
Hop onto a new project? Yeah.
move right on. Yeah, to just move. You know what? That didn't work out, and we're going to forget all about that.
Is enduring this sort of season like a credit to you on your resume where you're like, listen, man, I stayed professional during.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, and not to get serious about this for a moment, but in all honesty, Jayhay, what he's going through, what the crew is going through in a time like that, I don't think people truly realize it. And for the folks listening, just think about this. The game that you sat down and you were super excited about watching yesterday or the day before that didn't go the way you wanted it to, well, what'd you do around the 5th or 6th? Did you turn it off? Did you get up and fucking walk away? Right? Like, you can do that. Well, you can't do that when you're the broadcaster. You have to watch the next inning, and you have to watch the next pitch, and you have to watch every inning and every pitch. So you will get better. You will get better at your job. You'll get better at your craft. You will learn how to get in and out. You'll learn how to tie a bow on things. You'll learn how to phrase things and characterize things differently, just because you can't spend 162 days telling everybody who's watching how bad the team they're watching is. You can't do that. So he will get better. They will get better at that. It's a challenge, and I think you should welcome that challenge. But if you don't have to go through something like that, it's probably something you'd rather bow out of. I think that's easy to say. Can I avoid a 100-loss season? If so, I'm into that. Because it's tough baseball to call.
It's not great.
Tough baseball. It's like you got a pig, you got just a big old fat hairy sow, and you got a small travel size bottle of Brute cologne. Here you go. Make it work. There's not enough perfume on that pig.
2-2. Line over third. Bannon intend, he does it. The walk-offs continue to flow.
That's not the right one. There's another one.
That's
Is it this one? Is it this one?
Shoemaker on deck. Benintendi! Montgomery! Get out! Let's go! The White Sox walk it off in the 10th. And for the first time all season, the Sox have won 2 in a row. Say it with me. Say it proud for all the haters. Southside, stand up!
For the first time all season, the White Sox have won consecutive baseball games. The haters are sick. Don't the haters look like fucking idiots tonight?
It ain't for you, bro. It's for the people on the South Side. You're not.
I'm not.
tell him, Joe.
Listen,
You don't get it. You're not. Even from
I
the
get
South
it.
Side,
I
really.
get it. I get it. I get it.
You're one of the haters.
I'm not hating. Trust me, my win total that I picked for the White Sox is double the amount of wins that they have right now. They've got to double their win total if they're going to get to the mark that I believe that they could get to. So,
It's a lot of work.
no
Lot
one
of work.
believed in this team more than I did. You guys are the haters.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Jordan Montgomery's kind of a hater now.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been hating.
Ooh. Salty?
Yeah, he's a
Salty
little
party of
salty.
one. Your table is now ready.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Blake Snell's not making any excuses because he's actually pitching well. Jordan Montgomery got his ass shipped to the fucking bullpen.
So on the surface, initially that was kind of my thought too, was, all right, Blake may be okay with how things are starting to unfold now because he's pitching a little better. He's going to position himself maybe a little better than Jordan Montgomery is, blah, 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 blah. But I do think there is a bigger conversation to have. Do we know how long Jordan Montgomery and Scott Boras were partners? How long their business relationship was intact? Was that a recent move that Jordan Montgomery had made, or had he been with Boras for an extended period of time leading up to this?
I think it was with somebody. Says, well, according to Baseball Reference, he was with Beverly Hills Sports Council before Boras. I don't know when he switched to Boras though.
Yeah. So that would be really important information.
He hired Scott Boras in September of 2021.
Okay, so they've got a couple years of, and that is what that is projecting, right? We know what we have ahead of us. We've got free agency coming. This is what we need to do. This is how we position ourselves. You start that relationship a year or two before, right? Pre-platform year, platform year, and now we go. And that's exactly what happened. So they had the relationship, and I'm not going to act like I know how close or distant their relationship was. But it does just sound like Blake Snell is processing and handling how things have unfolded a little differently. And I think it's fair to say, because things have unfolded a little differently.
I mean,
Blake
yeah,
Snell-
how much money did Jordan Montgomery cost himself this offseason by not signing a 4 or 5 year deal or whatever he could have got? A fucking shit ton of money.
And he's bitter about it.
I mean, think, how much? What was his contract this year?
25,
1 year,
right?
$25 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And next year he has a player option. So that's what? That's 2 years. So next year he's going to get $25 million as well.
Correct. 2 year, 50 mil. The idea is he'd like to be able to perform to the extent that he can not have to exercise. that
It's a
option.
vesting
I'd-
option.
Yeah, I'd like to.
So it's $25 million this year, and it's a $20 million vesting option with 10 starts in 2024. Option is $22.5 million with 18 starts in 2024, $25 million with 23 starts. And he was moved to the bullpen at 19 starts.
He's got 90.
Yeah. So the option has kicked in. So right now they're on the hook for $22.5 million because he made 18 starts. So if he makes 4 more starts, it's $25 million.
Okay, so, but if he doesn't make 4 starts, it's $20 million.
It's 22.5.
Either
So
way,
they
he
sit-
probably cost himself like $50 million in total.
think
at
about this. They
least.
just sent him to the bullpen so that they could save another 5, right?
They could save another $2.5 million by moving him to the bullpen.
Do you think the Diamondbacks considered like after 9 starts being like, you're going to the bullpen? Would that be allowed to do that? Would
Well,
they
I mean,
be allowed?
you're already paying him 25 for this year. Like you're on the hook for 25. You might as well give him a little bit of a leash to figure it out. So yeah, it was 20 million vesting with 10 starts, 22.5 for 18 starts, and then it becomes 25 million for 23 starts. So it's already locked in for 22 and a half.
Nothing to say that he can't rejoin the rotation in the month of September.
Why would you do that? I mean, I guess it's only 2.5 million. You're already fucking, I guess, whatever. But yeah, he's got an ERA that's almost 7. It's about 6.5 right now.
Well, remember, I said that this is a cautionary tale. This would be a cautionary tale for organizations moving forward. Not that they were unaware that this is something that happens, but if you are banking on a player being a significant contributor to what you're doing, and that player happens to be a starting pitcher, there's no way that you can look at how this season unfolded between Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery and think to yourself that you'll be the outlier. And the player that you're talking to will be the outlier. You won't miss out on the production. That player will hit the ground running and come out dominant just like they would had they had a full spring training. Let me guess. You're the team that's going to experience that, right? No, I'd like to think that front offices are smarter than that. So moving forward, if you have somebody pinpointed that is going to play as much of a role as these two had hoped to play for their teams, then you have to be aware of what is coming if you don't have your ducks in a row. If they're not in your camp by the end of January, you got to know you're getting real close to fucking it up.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, but Blake Snell wasn't having that shit.
No, he defended Boras.
He did.
Absolutely.
He did. And I mean, he does have some ground to stand on here. Blake Snell rejects Jordan Montgomery's Scott Boras criticism. Quote, "It's sad that he thinks that way." I mean, if you're Blake Snell, you're saying to yourself, yeah, like I started off shitty and look at me now. I just threw a no-hitter. I'm pitching very well. Like you can't blame Scott Boras for, not getting you a job in time and missing spring training. Like, bro, it's fucking August. Get your shit together. It's almost September and you're still blaming not getting a spring training?
Well, what sort of raised questions for me was, I mean, wasn't it Blake Snell in the article who came out and said, and I don't know if it was prompted or not, but said, I got all my offers. I knew everybody that was involved. I'm paraphrasing, but didn't he say something to that extent where he identified like, hey, I knew everything that was going on. And now is there anything to Jordan Montgomery feeling like he didn't?
I mean, unless we have that from him, there's no way to really know.
So that kind of caught my eye. Like, okay, was that an issue? Is that something that we know behind closed doors but isn't public? Like maybe Jordan Montgomery feels like he was slighted or there wasn't quite the effort. Something else you have to think about is, sure, I'm left-handed and so is Blake Snell. And I'm talking if I'm Jordan Montgomery. You have to know that you two are different but similar in terms of what teams are looking for, what teams want. That's going to affect you. The guy who represents you represents a very similar you. That's going to affect how these negotiations work. And Scott Boras, as we know, has had his hand in every winter since the dude has been doing his thing. He's a guy who, more so than any other agency, has the ability to shape up and structure an offseason. We've seen him do it.
Snell's quote is, "My experience with Scott has been great. He told me everything that was happening, all the offers I got. So for him to just get bashed for what I believe is false, that's not fair at all. I really strongly believe that. I've seen how Montgomery has struggled, but he signed the deal that he ultimately wanted to sign, Snell said. He has the choice. I don't know what other offers, what other deals he was offered, but I know everything that was offered to me. It's just sad he thinks that way when I see Scott as a very honorable man.
Yeah, I mean, and look, speaking from experience in dealing with Mr. Boras and the Boras Corp, when they brought me in and were pitching me and recruiting me, trying to take me from my other agency, I was given every bit of information. I was given every example. Everything was laid out in front of me. This is how we're going to attack this. This is who you are. This is who your comps are. If we do X, Y, and Z, this is where you end up. This is how they ended up. This is what they did afterwards. And this is where they ended up at the end of that. This is the road we see you on. Like, I had all of that laid out in front of me over multiple days. I would find it really tough or really hard to believe that an individual wouldn't have a similar experience, especially if there was a relationship already. But again, for me, that was over 10 years ago.
Joe, where are you at on Scott Boras?
Boras, I mean, I did sign with Scott Boras. I no qualms about my negotiations this offseason.
Yeah.
With Montgomery, like, hey man, I don't know what the hell was going on behind the scenes. If there was offers that he wouldn't tell, maybe Scott Boras is like, trust me, do not sign right now. You're just gonna pitch the season and have a freaking lights out year, and then next season you can sign the 10-year contract at 34, and now he's or 32, or I don't know how old he is actually. I'm on the wrong page, but
I think he's 31.
31. You'll sign that big contract season. Yeah, I can see. I think it comes down to, it's tough to know that you probably lost out on like $50 million at least that you're not going to make in your career. That if you would have signed a long-term deal this offseason, you would have had, regardless of how bad you pitched. Now, I don't really see that happening for Jordan Montgomery.
Well,
even if he
this
bounces
fucking
back
season.
next year, if he bounces back next year, has a great year, I think there's still going to be way more questions. He's going to be older, and he's going to be in a worse position to sign the longer deal. Like, last offseason was his shot. He had a shot and he messed up. Do you blame Boras or do you blame yourself for having a fucking 6+ ERA?
Yeah. It's also easier for Snell to say because he's got 2 Cy Youngs in his trophy case, whereas like Jordan Montgomery was like, yeah, I've been pretty good for like a couple of years spread out. Would be nice to get an 8-year contract somewhere as a reward for that. And teams were just like, no, actually, no, we're good.
Montgomery, 3.83 ERA in 21, 3.48 ERA in 22, 3.20 ERA last year, and the struggle bus this year.
Right. And were people talking about like $150 million
He was
this offseason?
And I think a lot of people wisely, Joe, were like, I don't know if that number is going to play. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. And it's for, I think, good reasons. He is 31 years old. We're now talking about a guy who's going to have a bounce back season in his age 32 season to do what? Net himself what? Going into his age 33 season. You think he's landing a 5-year deal then?
Yeah.
So right now, this year and the next seasons where he's going to be pitching he's going to be working. Oh, he's going to be working. These could be seasons that were already accounted for, like you said, Joe. Already chalked these up. 2 out of the 5-year deal. Instead, it's a very different road. Very different road.
Yeah. I would be a little pissed off too.
Like, I hate to bring it up, but we're talking about this. Like, think about JD Davis and what he's going through right now. Could have had a very, very different season.
Did he catch on somewhere after the Yankees let him go?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's tough.
But that was a guy who was ready to make 5+, 6+, something like that. Team finds a loophole. That money gets cut drastically. Signs with the A's. DFA'd. Oh, great. I'll go to the Yankees. Well, that's a pretty nice landing spot. Gone.
He batted fourth one day. Remember that when JD Davis batted fourth for the freaking Bronx Bombers?
I do remember that. Wild.
Speaking of big money here, the Babe Ruth called shot jersey sells for $24 million. What a loser this guy is. First of all, he didn't even call a shot. He was probably just like the video is.
You know that? You know that for a fact?
Yeah, I've seen the video. Yes, I just the video of him. It's him. It's a shadowy figure, and he's like pointing to like the other team's dugout. He's not pointing to the fence, being like, "I'm going to hit a home run." He's probably pointing to the other team's dugout, being like, "Yeah, I murdered my wife, and I'll murder you too if you don't pipe down over there." And then he happened to hit a home run after that. The whole called shot didn't even happen.
Saying you can't throw me a fastball, and if you do, I'm gonna park that bitch way out there.
No,
way out there is where it's going. Way out there. They're like, where? Where, George? You ain't hitting shit. He said, out there. There. And then he fucking waylaid it.
Yeah.
And then he did.
$24 million for a urban legend is a steep price to pay. Who is this fucking guy or girl?
I don't know.
Let's see.
You know what? I think I'm just catching on to why the Red Sox now are like I don't know how long the promotion has been going on. They still feeding kids when you guys win? Is that a thing that's still happening?
No.
Because it makes me feel like they're really reaching back into the past. They had a guy who they saw could really help bolster the spirits of children all around the city. Instead, they sold that fucking guy to New York. And what's he do? He's hitting homers at request for sick kids. He's calling his shot. And the Red Sox finally were like, look, we got rid of that guy a long time ago. We need to do something. It's been a while. Fuck, if we win, can we feed the kids? We'll do something. We got fucking Babe Ruth saving kids.
This is essentially the Mona Lisa. It's a very mythical moment that crosses over not only in baseball history, but American history, pop culture history.
The buyer's not known. But yeah, another great quote. A Babe called shot jersey could be, if not be, the most important sports relic in American history, in world history.
Wow. Tough to argue. Tough to argue.
$24 million for that fucking thing. For that farce.
How's that been authenticated?
Probably hasn't. I mean, this is just obviously some crazy billionaire that just had like $24 million to them is like.
Yeah, it's got to be the Diamondbacks owner. It's got to be the Diamondbacks owner.
Who's that?
He's the dude with the craziest fucking card collection on the planet.
I'll
be sitting down talking with that dude very soon, actually.
What's his name?
I'll look that up.
All right. Good to know. Yeah, if you want to go see those D-backs, Dallas, they've actually been winning a lot of baseball games recently. They just swept the Boston Red Sox. Download the Game Time app. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes tickets or getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I used the Game Time app over the weekend, went to Fenway on Saturday, got to see Jake and his dad there on Saturday. That was a great time at the old ball yard until the Red Sox decided to lose that game, as well as every other game over the weekend. Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The all-in pricing toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? It's game time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. The owner, his name is Ken Kendrick. And just a few of the pieces that he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the 52 Topps mantle, PSA 10. He's got the 51 Bowman mantle, PSA 10. He's got the T206 Honus. He's got the 33 Gowdy Nap. That's a PSA 9. And he's got the 54 Hank, PSA 10. Stupid cards.
You know what I got?
What do you got?
I got a promo code. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Get in there for NFL season, football season. Listen to Dallas complain about the Dallas Cowboys. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Last but not least here, shout out to Florida for winning the Little League World Series. Some fuckery on that play last night, but you didn't see it, Dallas?
What was the fuckery? What the
no one was covering first base.
Oh yeah, well I thought you meant that's just kids.
Bad baseball.
It's bad baseball, man.
That's all. Did you guys? You saw the video of the speech before?
No.
Did you guys see that? You should, Jared.
Yeah.
You should find that video, and then you should play it for our listeners because it's a pretty cool moment. I know a lot of people feel like moments at the Little League World Series with coaches are contrived because they have a microphone on. They know they have a microphone on. Now's my time. I can say something motivational and I can get on ESPN. That's not what's happening here. I think it's just another way that a coach who knows his group, knows his kids, he's been with them all summer, probably more than one summer, has a really good idea of how to alleviate some pressure, get the kids in a mind space that they can perform in. Place where they're comfortable.
Is this it?
Because they're in a situation.
Boys, this thing.
Here it is.
One of the first days that we got here, I came down here. A man prayed over me. Okay? He saw my dad later. He said, it's already been written. We're already the champs. The Lord put it in his book. We're just going to finish the story right here, right now. Stay calm, stay composed, stay within yourself. But understand, it's already been written. It's already ours. We just have to finish it here. We just have to play this inning. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. It's our summer. It's our game. We're going to come out on top. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Go big.
He gave them the
That's awesome.
Jesus speech?
Bro, I never
was
heard
just
that
gonna
before.
say,
He gave him the
Yeah,
Jesus
look-
speech. He said,
whether it's the
He-
Lord who's
he
writing
just-
the book
that
or it's
coach-
the team
that
on
coach
this
went in
shoving
there.
orange wedges in your
and
face.
he was like, listen, guys, Jesus hates Chinese Taipei. So he picked you guys. He loves Florida. Jesus, big Disney guy. So we got this. It's locked down. Jesus on 3. And that's the speech?
That's a big risk because if they lose, then they're all atheists now.
Exactly.
What the fuck? Coach said he
But-
talked to God. We were the champions. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this coach and jelly roll. Only talk to God when they need a favor.
Right.
I'm off this team.
Right.
I'm out of here.
That's a dangerous game, brother. You playing with God fire now.
Well, look,
Hey, it worked.
guys tapped in.
it
you know what I
worked.
mean?
It worked.
Guys tapped in. He's got that one way to the big guy.
You run a dangerous game playing the Jesus wants you guys to win card. That is dangerous.
You think he
Great.
said that and then instantly turned around and was like, God damn, I hope this works out.
Crazy the guy's that tapped in and he's leveraging it to win a children's baseball game tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feel like this weapon could be, you know, put to bigger and grander use, you know?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
You see the scouting report on Taipei, Jayhay? that weapon was aimed perfectly. He said, if I'm gonna play this card, it's gotta be here. It's
Yeah.
gotta be now.
I mean,
Yo,
how do you feel if you're a little Chinese Taipei baseball player watching this video being like, oh, so God fucking hates us? Like, that's just a tough pill to swallow because now it's been validated.
You've got some answering to do.
Right.
I can imagine the confession line being a little long. Hey,
Right.
it's me, back from Williamsport. Don't know if you saw how things unfolded, but just found out you've been hanging out with the other team. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in
What the
fairness,
fuck's going on?
Yeah. What's
In
the
fairness-
deal, God?
in fairness, it sure seemed like God was favoring Chinese Taipei there for quite a long time because they've got 17 fucking championships. So,
yeah.
yeah. They
No,
were-
that was God. That was just blatant cheating.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
could've been that
you
too.
know, we all honor different deeds.
God was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna bless Chinese Taipei with 18-year-old men in this little league tournament.
Well, that's its own blessing.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
You can put a roster together full of 18-year-olds and sneak them through the Little League World
mean, they-
Series. There's got to be some credit given somewhere.
They
Sure.
finished third last year.
Yeah, and they had a fucking 24-year-old man on the mound. Remember that kid was
I honestly do
beast.
not
With the
remember.
mustache, Joe, with the mustache.
Oh, so people
Who's
can grow a
that?
mustache both too quickly and not fast enough for you guys, huh? So that's how that works. Gonna ride both ends of that. Pretty crazy.
That fool was throwing 78 miles per hour from 40 feet away,
Speaking of, look at
Hey,
this shit.
and they still lost
Speaking of,
somehow.
coming in nicely, Jayhay. Coming in nicely.
yeah.
yeah, there it is.
Hey, is there any truth to the rumor that the fucking coach from the Long Island team was the same coach that had Danny Almonte on his team?
There's no way.
That would be awesome.
That can't be true.
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, that can't be true.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
I just
I'm not
missed
putting that out
playing
there. I'm
Danny
just, I want
Almonte.
to.
We almost played him.
Could you imagine that, Jared? Your team playing his two illegal players?
No. Hold on. I just did a quick Googling and
Mhm.
it appears. Oh, no. Oh, oh my God. You know what? I should have just jumped this claim. He's playing the other side of it. He is putting his name out there. He's playing the other side of it. He says he had suspicions about Almonte in 2000 and tried to contest it. He says, yeah, so he says he was ahead of the game, that Danny Almonte was a cheat.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like
I'm
Joe
pro
would-
Almonte.
I feel like Joe would know this, but Danny Almonte, didn't he not even join that team until later in the tournament? Didn't he skip like regionals and everything?
I'm not sure. I don't know much about Almonte.
Oh, that's a good baseball doesn't exist video right there. Danny Almonte in the story. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that he didn't even join that team until way later.
Are you sure? Because he ended up, I thought the whole story was like, this dude's throwing fucking no-hitters and perfect games in the regional qualifiers. Like, this dude's just shoving, period, the whole way here.
I don't know. I guess we got to investigate. It was a while ago. I just remember that.
I wish somebody do a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we had a baseball YouTuber that does amazing storytelling.
Well, I don't know. Dallas should make a channel because he's right on the money. Do a no-hitter in the regional finals. That doesn't necessarily mean he didn't join the team late.
Right. But yeah, we were supposed to play his team in Cooperstown. So he had to, that's why I thought that, because
His car broke down.
he had the choice to play in the Cooperstown tournament or the Little League World Series. And I was like, well, wait a second. Like, aren't we too old for Little League? How does he have a choice? I don't know. I don't remember. But there's something there. There's something there. Dig that up, Joe. Anyways, Jayhay, you got some nugs for us?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I got nugs. All right, here we go. So the Judge conversation yesterday and today, yesterday it was as it was happening, motivated me to look at like how rare Bobby Witt Jr.'s season may end up being in terms of producing at the level that he is, and almost, I mean, very likely not winning the MVP, it seems like at this point. So a lot of season left, but Judge does seem to have a pretty good hold on that right now. So I looked to see how many batters in baseball history, or at least since the MVP award was first issued in 31, put up a 10 F-WAR season and didn't win the MVP in that season. He would be the 9th batter to have that happen to. The previous 8 are Babe Ruth in 1931, Lou Gehrig in 1934. Speaking of the voting bias against Ted Williams, 3 different times, 1941 and 42 and 1947. Mickey Mantle and Norm Cash both put up 10 F-WAR seasons in 1961. Neither won the MVP. Willie Mays, it happened to twice in 62 and 64. A-Rod in 2000. And Mike Trout twice, 2012 and 2013. Those are the only instances of batters putting up 10 F-WAR seasons and not winning the MVP in that season. Batters. So that's where Bobby Witt Jr. would find himself if indeed Aaron Judge goes on to win the MVP and Witt does not. I know we all know this at this point, but the 40-40 club that Ohtani now belongs to is Acuna in 2023. Alfonso Soriano in 06, A-Rod in 98, Bonds in 96, and Jose Canseco in 1998. Some quicker hitters. Seth Lugo had a 2.17 ERA through his first 18 starts. He has a 5.30 ERA over his last 9. On Sunday, Kevin Gausman had his 6th start as a Blue Jay with 10 or more strikeouts and 0 walks. That's the second most such starts in franchise history, behind only Roger Clemens' 7, which he did across just 97 and 98. Jose Ramirez had another big game on Sunday, and obviously having a great season, 30, 100 plus RBIs, all that. He has 230 homers, 192 stolen bases, and at least 700 runs and 700 RBI from his age 24 to 31 season. Those are random numbers, but I was curious how many people had ever done that before. Over that age stretch. Only 3 others have done it besides Joe Ram: Carlos Beltran, Barry Bonds, and Willie Mays. Ryan Helsley picked up his 40th save of the season for the Cardinals. He is the 6th pitcher in Cardinals franchise history with 40-plus saves in a season. The previous to do so, Trevor Rosenthal in 2014-15, Jason Mott in 2012, Izzy in 2004, Lee Smith 3 straight times, 91 to 93, and Bruce Sutter in 1984. Eugenio Suarez had a 591 OPS through the end of June. Since that point, he has hit 311 with 14 homers and a 995 OPS. His OPS is now 748 entering play today. And Dallas's boy, Brian Wu, has a 2.05 ERA through his first 16 starts of a season. That is the lowest ERA through 16 starts in Mariners franchise history, just ahead of Felix Hernandez's 2014, where he had a 2.22 ERA through 16 starts. So Wu's innings are not super high, but this is by ERA the best start, quote unquote, to a season in Mariners franchise history, and those are the Nugs.
Damn. Wu didn't he had some crazy he had an 8.75 ERA in college. So that's a fun fact.
I did not know that, actually.
I'm glad that the injury that he encountered early was not major and was something that he was able to work around, come back from, because he is so fun to watch. Low heartbeat, dude, just kind of cruising, shoving it down your throat. It's fun to watch. It is really fun to watch. So I'm happy that he's got a clean bill of health and that he's been able to do what he's done, because I pull for him.
Yeah, he made 6 starts in his college career. How does this guy come from? I remember hearing that. Very weird. He had an 8.75 ERA. Then his senior year had a 6.11 ERA. Pitched like 10 games. And look at him now.
Woo!
But so woo.
Woo.
Woo!
I got some injury notes if you wanted to talk.
Oh, yeah.
injuries.
Joseph's injury notes, please.
Yeah, the MASH unit. Here we go, Joe.
Well,
Blue tit
You're
time.
gonna like this one, Jared.
What's that?
Big old Liam Hendricks on the Red Sox,
What's the
knocking
deal?
on the door of the big leagues. Reached 95.6 miles per hour, coming back from cancer and Tommy John. Who's ever done that in MLB history? I'll wait.
Nobody.
Nobody that I can think of off the top of my head. So Chris Bryant and Javi Baez both injured. I know Jayhay would like that, so just touch on that. They suck still. Checking back in from last week, Austin Riley, bad news, out for the regular season. And as a Braves fan, that's tough. Honestly, I think Braves fans, you can comment, but Ethan's comments, that one kind of hurt even more than Acuna based on where we're at in the season, how much we need Austin. And Austin's down for the rest of the season. Stay hopeful. They're hoping 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks means at the earliest, last game of the regular season, at the latest, October 16th. We'll probably be in the NLCS by then, but watch out for Austin Riley. Get better soon. Michael Harris also got hit by a fucking pitch in the hand yesterday. That was scary, but the tests are negative. Michael Harris looks good. Jacob deGrom threw 100 miles per hour in the minor leagues. He looks nasty as shit still after 3 Tommy Johns, and that's good news for deGrom.
Mhm.
He's coming back. Max Scherzer's in a holding pattern. That's another scary thing. We might never see Max Scherzer pitch again. I don't know how much attention that's getting, but Max Scherzer, I kind of got shut down again in the minors. We're praying for him, but that sucks. Did you guys see that this minor league team for the Rangers? They had Max Scherzer, deGrom, and Kumar Rocker. So that payroll is higher than the A's, higher than the Rays, and one other team. So there's this AAA team they're moving and shaking down there in Texas. And that's about it. Oh, Ohtani fucking pitched off the mound the day after 40-40.
Did you really?
Ohtani threw 10 pitches off the mound. First time throwing back. And they're saying he could start 2025 in the rotation. And guess who else is kicking around there getting better?
Who's that?
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
He's making a start on Wednesday in the minor leagues. The Dodgers need him because Glasnow, they just released that his absence is going to be longer than originally expected, which is terrible for the Dodgers. But lose some, you win some. Yamamoto's coming back. And the final, last but not least, the same thought basically. But I don't know if you guys know this. Remember, the first game in MLB next year, where's that going to be played? Tokyo. So if you don't think they want Ohtani and Yamamoto pitching those 2 fucking games, you're tripping. So that's what we're waiting for.
Do we go to that?
We go. We're going.
That's where we go to Japan.
Konnichiwa.
Who's playing? The
Joe.
Dodgers and who?
The Cubs, I think. Yeah, the Cubs.
That's good.
Oh, fuck yeah. Imanaga, Yamamoto, Ohtani.
Bellinger.
Let's go.
Bellinger? Dansby?
Oh, let's go.
The Michael Bush revenge game.
Wow. Japan, dude.
All right, let's do it. Let's book it.
There it is. Jake, book Japan.
Yeah. Tell Blattman to get over there for a site survey.
Oh, I got another injury note. Marte is still down, but they're saying he's going to begin running on a pool treadmill soon. So be on the lookout. He's going to get in the pool soon.
Okay. Also, very funny. I watched Joey's new Baseball Doesn't Exist video on knuckleballers. You're always good for one wildly incorrect name pronunciation. It is Ryan Lavarnway was his name.
That's not the only one I fucked up, brother.
Yeah, there's another one.
Charlie Howe.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, he went he went like ho. I think he said ho.
No, I said it
Charlie
wrong. And that's
Howe.
not. I don't know how. I didn't know.
You fucking serious, Joe?
I didn't say it right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which is bad because he deserves more respect than that. And
Yeah.
You
Just
calling
a
him
little
a
bit.
hoe? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Chucky
how do you-
Ho.
Charlie Huff, baby. Charlie Huff.
Huff.
off. Yeah. See,
Huff.
I
Opening
pronounced
day
it.
starter for the Florida Marlins.
Probably
Yeah, I pronounced it Howe. Unfortunately, you know, just one of those guys. A little bit before my time. I'll be honest. I wasn't familiar with his game really.
Dude played
now looking
25,
back on
25
it,
years in the big leagues wasn't enough for Joey, I guess.
Churching up the GH there. That's Hal for sure. Chuck
Yeah,
Hal. Yeah, next name.
Well, I gave him a lot of compliments in the video, and I did highlight his career. I don't know if you guys have ever took time at it and used your platform to do that, but I did. So said his name wrong. My apologies, but at least, you know, people are gonna. His StatCast page is probably way up right now.
That's true.
Trending.
How did you pronounce Lavarnway?
Lavarney? I don't know.
Yeah,
Lavarney.
Yeah,
That's how I said it.
Yeah,
Like with a tilde over the N? Lavarnway?
Varnway.
A what? What'd you call it, Jay?
Isn't it tilde?
Tilde.
Tilde? Isn't that what I said?
No.
Close.
Tilde.
Yeah, no.
Tilde.
Tilde.
I think between all of us, we could speak a language.
Yeah, we got one.
We-
We got one lockdown.
Oh, that all we got? We good? That it?
I'm just-
Homers each in one start. When a knuckleball is bad, it is terrible. But when they're amazing, that can also be a problem because catchers can't catch them. In 2016, Stephen Wright was making his first ever major league start. Catcher Ryan Larvinway set
Larvinway. Larvinway.
The butterfly. Larvae way. Larvin way.
Well, you know,
Larvinway.
it's even worse because if you actually watch the video, it's kind of the, I guess, thesis of it is that this guy, Matt Waldron, is really good, and you're going to see more Matt Waldron type pitchers
And he
coming
just
up
got
because
demoted.
he's dominating. The same day got demoted.
Ryan Larvinway.
That's got to be tough for a Matt Waldron hype video, for Matt Waldron to get de-hyped on the drop day of the hype video.
Well, when we started researching 2 weeks ago, it looked like he was actually, his season looked a lot better than it is looking right now. But he'll be back. I mean, yeah, I gave up 17 earned runs in the last 2 games. But Jesus Christ. 22 earned runs in last 3 starts. But before that was actually having a great season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1% of all knuckleballs end up being wild pitches or pass balls. They are 4 times more likely to get past a catcher than a regular pitch. The margins to be a successful knuckleballer.
You gotta see this, Dallas. It is very interesting. How like the Texas Rangers in the 80s had a camp. They basically took all their shitty minor league pitchers and were like, you're all gonna throw the knuckleball. And if there's 30 of you shitbags, one of you will become good at it, and it'll be worth it for us. I didn't know that they did that.
Didn't work.
And yeah, none of them came out being a good knuckleball pitcher at the major league level. None of them.
No, there's a science to it. There is a very real science, a very real feel. You've got to be able Yeah, you're not just rolling out of the bed. Oh, I'll throw a knuckleball now.
I mean,
Like,
Brian
that's not the
Wilson tried
automatic
to do
default.
that. Remember?
Yeah, I do. I'm the one who caught the fucking bullpens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I caught the bull. How about this? I tried to catch the first bullpen with just a regular left-handed catcher's glove. I was like, well, that shit ain't working. And then I just went to my regular glove, and I was like, well, that's not working either. So I caught his bullpens with Sean Doolittle's first baseman's glove.
Was he?
That was
Could he throw a good
significantly
one?
He threw a disgusting knuckleball.
Then why didn't he make it?
Just physicality. Teams, whether or not
Physicality.
they're
He wasn't
Whether or
hitting
not
guys
they're-
enough.
interested, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I throw Can I throw the flag before the end of this podcast?
Yeah, please.
I can't believe I let you guys do this to me again.
What?
But I'm throwing the flag on the pronunciation. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it because
It's Tilde.
I've spent the entire time since we talked about this looking at it. I even went to the Merriam-Webster site and used the audio pronunciation in addition to multiple other sites. I am at the very least not wrong, if not outright correct, that it's tilde.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just looked it up again. Yeah, it's Tilde. But, I mean, it's all right.
No,
My
I'm looking
guess is
at
that's
it
in-
right here. I'm looking at it right here.
Who's the voice
This is
on
This is
Webster?
fucking Matt Olson all over again.
Hello?
Who's the voice?
Oh.
Who's the voice? Is it an Eastern European woman?
Nope. It's multiple different sources have confirmed.
Just got a call from the
Including-
dictionary.
including
It's actually wrong.
someone's website YouTube page called Julian Miguel. So if that's an Eastern European woman or whatever you were saying, then no. Justice for Jayhay again. Crazy.
I mean, if you look it up, how are you spelling it, Jayhay?
I'm on Merriam-Webster,
Right.
Merriam-Webster.com. TILDE. A
Tilde.
mark placed especially over the letter N, as in Spanish señor, sir, to denote the sound N or whatever over vowels.
Enye.
Click on tilde.
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 See, I'm
Who can we
clicking
call
on it.
that
It says it
speaks
the same
Spanish as a first language right now, Dallas?
The idea that we're not just trusting the dictionary on this instead of you guys
Absolutely.
off the
Yeah,
cuff
hold on.
is crazy.
Let's trust the English dictionary over a
For a
Spanish-speaking
Spanish-
person.
Right, for a Spanish pronunciation for
Merriam-Webster is like the
Well,
dictionary
God bless
source.
her, but she's not.
It
She
doesn't
doesn't speak
Merriam.
Spanish.
Crazy.
Miriam doesn't speak
Crazy.
Spanish.
No.
All you
That's
got to
the bottom
say
line.
is, wow, Jayhay, you sure made sure that we cleaned it up at the end of this podcast, so those Spanish speakers didn't think we were a bunch of idiots, but
Yeah,
we're not.
That's Tilde.
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 Always remember tilde, like duh, it's tilde.
No, like Matilda. No, that's Matilda. It's
No, tilde is kind of like what like very very casual, like kind of amateur Spanish speakers.
Who should
Are
I
up
call
to-
right now?
Obviously, somebody who did AP Spanish, like me,
here, hold on.
20
I know,
20 or so years ago.
Who?
I don't know, why do we need to call somebody
Because
so that
you're wrong.
they can tell us the
because
are we
you're
just gonna-
wrong.
Are we just going to keep calling people until someone else provides us with the wrong answer?
I mean, there's plenty of Spanish speakers out there that would know that the answer is Tilde.
All right. Why don't we see what the Spanish speakers who listen to this podcast say? And I will we'll keep an eye out on Discord and Reddit or Twitter for that matter.
I don't think you're gonna like their response, Jay.
Yeah.
I think I am going to.
I don't think you're gonna like their
No.
response.
What?
You can put it in the
Why
Google
are you so
Translate.
confident that you're correct? It's more likely that you've been mispronouncing it your entire life.
Oh no.
Oh,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Yeah. I can't wait till this podcast goes out.
It's really not a big deal.
Oh,
Like you
man.
mispronounce certain words, it's really not that bad, Jay. It's actually not bad. It's actually.
I wouldn't have minded it. I just wanted to double check because I'd been saying it wrong my whole life. Turns out, no, actually, you're still correct.
Oh, you know who
It's-
I'm gonna call?
Who?
Well,
No, we're not going to call anybody. Let's end the
I
podcast.
mean, well, I can't call and put them on.
Who
right?
is it?
I understand. I understand.
Jared's the only one. Well, I was just gonna call my buddy's mom, who's from Guatemala.
Yeah, your plant.
Oh.
Your tilde plant.
Your Tilde plant.
Dallas has been waiting for this moment for years. He's like, finally somebody stepped into my scam I've been running with tilde. Yeah, right. This is probably Meg. Listen, Meg, I got this scam I'm running with tildes and tilde. There's nothing this person can say that will convince me that I'm wrong. I just want to put that out there before it's.
Answer the phone.
I would have happily admitted that I was wrong if the dictionary said I was wrong. It's saying I'm correct.
English dictionary. Get out of here with that.
Do you not think that English dictionaries pronounce Spanish words the way that they're supposed to be pronounced? Like let's pull up another. Let's pull up another. Name one other Spanish word. Just like a basic Spanish word that requires some.
Agua.
Okay.
Agua.
Hold on. We're gonna go.
Just put it in Google Translate. You do it in English, it says tilde. If you do it in Spanish, it says tilde.
It's called an accent.
Tilde.
I'm about to call my fucking high school Spanish teacher right now.
I promise you that I'm not taking the word of your high school Spanish teacher over the dictionary.
What? That is just asinine. What?
How is that asinine?
He's from the Dominican
I've
Republic.
never even met this dude.
It's not like his name is like
Ellen.
Mark Smith. And he went to fucking Yale and got a degree in Spanish. Like, this dude is fucking Dominican to the bone.
You guys, the reason why we haven't called somebody is because you guys are frantically texting and somebody's willing to bite on your scam.
No,
I
I
can't find anybody.
Most of the Spanish-speaking people in my phone book are baseball players, and I don't want to just call up David Ortiz and be like, hey, Poppy, is it tilde?
Call him offline then. Call him offline or whoever. And then, report back. I'm sure you'll be honest.
I mean, I'm honest. I'm honest in the sense that I know it's tilde.
When the mother of your poor friend from Guatemala returns your phone call, Dallas, that you've been harassing all morning, let us know what she says.
Well, hold on. Like you are so far down this path right now, Jay.
It doesn't matter.
No.
We could call. We could literally call someone in Spain.
I will call a Spanish-speaking person
like,
too. Okay,
this isn't good enough for me.
Why am I waiting for you guys to do this? I've got plenty of Spanish speakers on my phone. I'm going to call them, and we're going to see what goes on.
Who are you going to call?
I'll call AC.
Eduardo Perez?
I'll call Eduardo Perez.
I'm going to call Eduardo Perez right now.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Time out. This is how we have to do it. You can't say the word. All right. We're going to ask him this.
Okay.
Let me ask him. I'll say Eduardo. Eduardo, what is?
I get it.
Yeah. All right.
It's going to be crazy if Eduardo also doesn't know how it's pronounced.
What did I do wrong?
Eduardo!
Let's go. He picked up. Let's go.
You didn't do anything wrong. We're recording Baseball is Dead right now.
We'll see.
It's me, Dallas, and Jayhay, and we're having...
Oh, Lord have mercy.
We are having a dispute over a Spanish
Jake's
word.
here too.
We need you to settle this argument for us because we're a house divided on how to pronounce this word. Jayhay.
Dallas should know it.
I agree. And all right, put it this way. Me and Dallas are on the same side here. Jayhay is on the outskirts. Jayhay, how would you like to describe this to Eduardo?
Just spell the word, right?
No. No, we got to ask it differently. So, Eduardo, what is the punctuation in Spanish?
Pronunciation. First of all,
what is the pronunciation or the enunciation of the
accent mark?
No, because that's called something different.
Okay.
Probably don't know how to spell that or pronounce that one either. We'll get to that.
That's called an accento. That's called an accento. What's the other one? What's the other one, Eduardo?
Willie Mo Pena. The squiggle above the N in Pena is what?
Tuesday.
Oh!
Yes.
That's crazy.
Correct.
He's been speaking it wrong his whole life.
No. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that. It's a tilde.
No.
No way.
Who got it right?
Me and Dallas.
No,
Yeah.
hang up on Eduardo. Call somebody else.
He was
Hey, I
so
got my wife here if you want to put it. I got
No,
my
that's
wife here if you
biased.
want.
She already heard you.
Look, mira, ¿cómo se dice el palito encima de la ñ? ¿Cómo se lo de la ñ? ¿Qué es lo que es el palito encima de la ñ? What goes on top of the end to make it sound like
Yo no sé. No,
¿En serio? You don't remember?
This is he shouldn't have asked anybody else. This is eroding the credibility of the whole call.
It's terrible.
Half
But Tuesdays,
the
what
people
kills
he's with don't
Tuesdays
even
the
know.
one.
Till day. We nailed it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank
I'm
you,
so
Eduardo.
Yeah. You
All
got
right.
hey man, it was awesome listening hearing all of you guys. Dallas, I miss you. Hey, I miss you. I was like, what's
Miss you
going on
too.
that Jared's calling me? What did I do wrong?
Why are you around on Wednesday? You should come on the podcast with us.
I'm actually no, I'm actually at the US Open on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we need to get you on
Yeah,
a
we're headed
Wednesday.
to New York.
Next time you're available
We'll
on a
do it
Wednesday at 11
We'll do it
Eastern.
the upcoming Wednesday, the Wednesday after.
Done.
All right.
All right. Thank you
You guys
so
got it.
much for settling that debate for us.
Peace.
All right, we'll talk to
See
you
you guys.
soon.
Later.
Eduardo Perez settled. Till day.
That's crazy. And the mystery remains.
like yeah. What's crazy, Jayhay, is you were the stance. I mean, the girl that I dated in high
I
school
didn't care
for 4
up
years
until the
is from,
dictionary gave me a certain pronunciation. That's why I looked. I was like, oh, I was wrong, huh? No. Now I know that
don't trust
Eduardo
the kid that grew up
Perez
in
is wrong.
California.
That's crazy. Eduardo Perez. I've hung out with him where he just he wines and dines any Spanish speaker within earshot, and there's
All
I
for
guess
this
there's
moment.
gaps. Yeah, there's gaps in everybody's knowledge, I guess. Well, I mean,
this moment.
Jake's takes.
I just can't wait to finish editing this podcast, throw on a little Red Sox doubleheader, sit on my couch, and just get to a great place mentally all afternoon.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it's all about. A little doubleheader on a Monday. All right, guys. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back on Wednesday with our Wednesday hot seat. We don't know who's going to be on this week. You just heard it. We just tried to get Eduardo, so he's the week after. So this week coming up, we're going to have to figure that one out. But we'll see you then. Bye.
Wow.
Tilda.